All right, guys, so today's the next day. I went out and got a new outer tie rod, got all the steering buttoned up, got the other side done, got the alignment pretty close, or at least enough to go test it. And I went out, started swinging around a little bit. Feels really good. I like it. Started to overheat. So I brought it back home. The coolant little makeshift jug was all blown up, full of coolant. I think I blew the head gasket. So I let the car cool down. Maybe it was just low, and then it started to just reject everything that I was putting in after that. I highly doubt that. I think the head gasket's blown. I think this engine's got 200,000 miles on it. So it was bound to happen the way that I drive it. I was on borrowed time as a $500 junkyard car. It's kind of just, it was bound to happen. There's a very small chance that because the motor was hot when I tried to add new fluid to it, it rejected it because of that. I don't think so. I think it's just, I think the head gasket's gone. But I've already talked to a machine shop in town, and they will do it for, they will deck the head for me for about 40 to 50 bucks. Head gasket's 40, and try to get this thing back on the road. It ended up not raining today. I was really butthurt at the beginning of the day because I thought, man, I got all this done right before time to go out and slide, and the head gasket blew. So I'm hoping that, I'm glad rather that it didn't rain, because now I'm not missing out on anything. So we're in here. We're gonna check this. If it doesn't work, which I don't think it will, we'll be starting to tear it down, or this will turn into a how to replace your head gasket in a 240 video. The answer is yes, the head gasket's blown. It seems like it's real blown too, which hopefully just means that it blew a hole in the head gasket and the head's not super warped, but we're not gonna know until we get it off and get it to the machine shop. The motor's never gonna run if I don't try to fix it, so. Here's the getting started. So this will be a how to change a head gasket video. I hate to be the one to bring it to you, but maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I'll help you out with some humor. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna move it forward, get a light set up in the engine bay, and we'll kind of get back to it. All right, we got our light set up. Now, first things first is going to be getting the plug wires off, pulled out of the way, off the distributor even. You need to get the air intake box out, and you need to get the harness from the MAF and the throttle body, the intake, the injectors. The harness needs to get laid back. So we're gonna come back when we had the harness laid back, intake off, and plug wires undone. All right, let me pop back in here for a second. One good thing to do while you're waiting, or not waiting, but while you're getting everything else out, go ahead, I don't know if the EGR is going to have to get disconnected for the head's going to have to come off, obviously. So the exhaust manifold is going to have to be disconnected. I just don't know if that EGR is going to want to stay or not. We'll come back and we'll figure that out. But we know that this heat shield is going to have to come off. We know these bolts are rusty. So let's just go ahead and squirt some things with PB Blaster. This is WD-40 rust release. Whatever you want to use, just let that sit while you're doing other work, and might help you in the long run. All right, guys, while you're in here, also go ahead and drain the coolant. You don't have to drain the engine oil for this because we're not taking the block out of the car. Everything's just going to still be sitting down in there in the pan, but you do need to drain the coolant. All right, next thing's nursed. I thought I turned that down, but I guess I didn't. I guess I'll do it through my phone. But anyway, all right, so get the valve cover off to where you can see. You're gonna need it off anyway. but I was waiting for a battery to charge, so I went ahead and snapped it off. Now you want to get the motor to top dead center, because you're going to be taking out the distributor, and you want, when everything, and you're going to be taking your timing stuff off, and whenever that stuff comes off, you want it to be top dead center. So go ahead and set the motor to top dead center before you forget. Stop what you're doing, do it now. All right, so we've got the harness off, airbox off, upper radiator hose disconnected. Intake manifold is gonna have to come off the motor. Exhaust manifold is gonna have to come off the motor, at least slid over. And then cams are gonna have to come out because the bolts, the head bolts are under them. So cams will come out. So since we're doing all this, you want to make sure that the motor is top dead center. We are at top dead center. That's why the cams are pointed that way and that way on the first cylinder, and we're good to go. All right, so I obviously didn't have the record button pressed. I've got the heat shield off. Once you get in here, go ahead and spray your bolts with rust release. And it does seem that I am gonna have to, I don't know why I didn't think I was gonna have to, but, or there is any chance around it, but yes, if you do have the stock EGR pipe, you're gonna have to disconnect that to bring this away from the motor, so the head can lift up and out. So let's get it done. All right, now without, I may come back and change my mind on this, but with the thought of just getting this back on the road as fast as possible, I'm not going to do anything with the EGR right now. I disconnected the pipe from the actual EGR valve itself over there, which allowed it to come this way. So it may be that I have to go and do more with it. Maybe it doesn't line up going back on, or I don't know. Procrastination is key right now, and if I can put off that part later, then that's what we're going to do. So it may be that I come back and correct that, but for now, we just disconnected it from here. The hard pipe, two 12s sitting about here and here. So that's off. You want to disconnect your gas. Now I guess I didn't necessarily have to, but this is gonna need to come up and out. It doesn't need to just kind of sit in here. Actually it may, I don't know, we'll see. This is my first time doing it in the car, as opposed to on an engine stand, so I'm kind of figuring out as I go of what can stay and what can't. But I know that this cannot stay connected to that, so we are gonna get disconnected right now. All right guys, when you're getting the 12mm bolts, this thing right here, it's kind of, mine's broken, but it works. It's one of the little claw grabber things. You're gonna lose sockets, you're gonna lose bolts down in here. Just when you're bringing things back through, just watch it, bring it up through here, and it's a little wider. There's a bolt at the top left, bottom left, and there's one there, one down in there, one there, one down in there, one there, one down in there, one there, and one there. So they're all 12 mils, but yeah, see, this thing's broken. I didn't even want to let go of it now, but this thing is very handy. It's already saved my ass twice, because it is not fun trying to reach your hand up. Let go, bitch. All right, so I'm gonna get back. I've got most of them undone, and we're about to pull the intake out. All right, if you are working with a completely stock motor, you may still have one of these. I've been working on so many that didn't have these, I kind of forgot about it, but it is a block to intake brace. Two 14mm and then a 14mm down on the block. You can't just do the top two because it still sits there and blocks it from coming out, so you gotta do all three. Just letting y'all know. All right, we'll try to put a disclaimer on the front end. Don't wait for me to go step by step, because I'm learning a little bit as I go. Because like I said, a lot of this shit is not. You can put on a motor and it'd be fine without all these braces and shit. But there, I don't know. You have to get the alternator off because it's hiding that bolt. Why they would do that, I've got no idea. You see the little. You can see the bracing on it that's welded and then comes over. That's so stupid. Oh, it's so fucking stupid. But this, if anybody wants to know why I enjoy body work over being a mechanic, cuts all over my hand and shit, this is why. It's dirty. I don't like it. I'm not having fun at all. All right, got the intake separated. Got the front cover off. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 12s, 4 10s. That front plate. Now, I'm getting the head decked. You want to bring that plate with you so they can deck it. I've seen problems with people running out, ruining distributors and compromising the lifespan of them because they're getting their head decked, but this plate right here was never machined with the head. So when you bolt everything down, it's lifting up where the distributor clocks in. So it clocks it at a weird angle, and it heats it up a lot faster and just wears on it a lot faster. So I'm taking the front cover to the machine shop. Now, I should have grabbed my camera. I wasn't even thinking. I just kind of got zoned in or zoned out, zoned in, whichever one you want to say. But so gears were on there, chain across them. You use a wrench to hold that while you impact the bolts out. Then you can kind of wiggle them off and the chain comes with it. I should have shown it, I'm sorry, but I'm not putting it back on just to show you. So it's easy. You just hold the cam so it doesn't spin while you undo the bolt. If you don't have an impact and you're just using a big 1/2 inch wrench, because it's a 24 millimeter, you're probably using 1/2 inch. I guess you could be using a 3/8, but just make sure the cam doesn't move. And I've got marks on the chain and marks here to set everything back up where it was. All right, cams are out. You want to start from the outside and zigzag. So out left or far out left, out right, out left, out right, and kind of boop, 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 boop. But you want to go from outside to inside, outside to inside. Same way with the head bolts. These are already out, so bam, 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 bam. Yep, she's off. Okay, well, I need both hands to do this, so. All right, we got some head, boys. I would say, if I was a betting man, that right there, Blue, is what it looked like. Because that's all nice and uniform around there, and then right there it gets rocky. If I was a betting man, I'd say that's what happened. So we're gonna get this shit to the machine shop. We'll come back when we start to piece it back together. That's it for tonight, guys. Get this light out of my face. Not a blinking one either. Thank you, now I'm blind. I'm getting out of here, guys. It was a productive day, but it was kind of a sad day. The car's down, but maybe we can get it back. Maybe we can get the head decked in the morning and maybe even have it running by tomorrow night. That's a little wanty, but we shall see. So have a good night, guys. If you liked the video, if you liked me getting all dirty or any of the jokes I made, just go ahead and like the video and subscribe for more. And we'll be back tomorrow. Peace, guys.